I just spent $1,300 of my own money on this lifetime plan, testing this game-changing AI tool that every creator is talking about. Poppy AI. Reddit is calling it an overpriced scam, but big creators like Ali Abdaal and Vanessa Lau are calling it game-changing, and they say that it'll help you, 1, organize your ideas, save hours every single week, and even write content or ads that make money, all with just 1 click. And Poppy promises to make you so good at your work and profitable, so much that you'll never have to worry about paying for double steak and double guac at Chipotle again. So is Poppy AI actually worth it? Or is it just another expensive as subscription? But after playing with Poppy for a full month, diving into Reddit rabbit holes and YouTube comments, and writing over 31 pages of notes, I have everything that you want to know about this app. The good, the bad, who should buy it, and who should really stay away from it. I'll have timestamps below, but in this video, we're talking about the problem that Poppy says it fixes, what Poppy AI actually does versus what they say they do, what other people are really saying about Poppy, the honest pros and cons after testing it, how I'm using it for my client work and YouTube videos, who should buy it versus who should definitely skip it, and finally, is it actually worth your money? I'm trying to negotiate with the Poppy team to hook it up with bonuses and discounts through my link, so check the description and top link below. So let's get into it. The problem everyone's ignoring. You check your credit card and you're paying hundreds in subscriptions. For me, on my YouTube channel, I have one of 10 Finder, Spotter Studio, ChatGPT. The list just goes on. But here's what's really killing your productivity. In my mind, there's 3 things. If you've used any LLMs like ChatGPT or Claude, sometimes it just forgets what you told it and gets kind of dumb. Then you're back to square one, re-uploading files, explaining the whole thing over again. It's quite maddening. The next thing is your work is everywhere. In my mind, this is one of the worst parts. Nothing is talking to each other and all your work is spread across multiple different databases or apps. For me, my research is in Notion. I have random Apple Notes like when I'm on the go. What I find is that I'm constantly trying to figure out, oh, where did I put that? And I'm constantly copy and pasting between tools. The other thing that might be killing your productivity is that most LLMs force you to work through a single text-based chat window. The one thing I really don't like is that sometimes I get forced into linear conversations. You type in a prompt, AI responds, you keep going, one message after another. If you want to change topics, reference something from way earlier, you have to restate things because the model can lose track of long, complex conversations and all that. You realize that creative work isn't linear. Your brain connects dots, sees patterns, and jumps between ideas. And so what creators actually need is one workspace that can remember everything you told it, connect all the dots. 3, speeds up your entire creative process. This is where Poppy comes into play because this is exactly what Poppy promises to do. In my opinion, it's just an all-in-one visual AI workspace that keeps everything connected. Poppy remembers everything you upload, the different chats that you have, the videos, the PDFs, websites, voice notes, and lets you chat with it all in one interface. Basically, when you upload a YouTube video, Poppy doesn't just scan it for keywords, it analyzes the full transcript and remembers it forever. So here's what it actually means. 1, you control the context. You can choose the files that AI uses by linking on the board, and it doesn't forget it suddenly. 2, you can also use multiple AI models, ChatGPT models, Claude, Grok, all in one place. The other thing too is that you have team collaboration, so your whole team can work on the same board. But there's a major caveat, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And the coolest thing I think about Poppy is that there's visual analysis. So for short form videos and all that, it can actually see the visual data and analyze short form videos. I load up my best performing content, my brand guidelines, ideal audience, and then I can ask it to write scripts that sound like me using proven formulas from my top videos and other experts on YouTube. But is everyone having the same experience with Poppy? General sentiment about Poppy is that it's pretty useful. People really like the visual aspect, but price is the biggest complaint. Some users calling $300 or $400 per year too expensive. And some other people are wondering if 2,000 credits per month is actually enough. So I spent the last month testing it out myself to just find out. Personally for me, there's 3 major uses. 1, research. 2, making content. And 3, client work. But here's the really cool part. You can connect Poppy to other apps by using something called an API. Right now, only power users can do this, and it costs way more money, like almost $5,000 per year. But you can connect Poppy to apps like Zapier and Make. It's like having your own AI assistant or helper to do things for you. You can create like a SaaS or subscription service using your intellectual property or signature process. This works really well if you have a school community or circle community. You can use it as a chatbot for WhatsApp, for your own team or your own clients. documents, or you can use it as a productivity tool. Quasi, one of the founders, sent an email out saying that he uses this to organize his most important emails, and he gets a text on his phone and he can copy and paste negotiations to his main base. And I think that's the real power, is that now you're able to take these processes that you have and white label it for your clients. So now that you kind of understand what I'm using Poppy for, what are the pros of Poppy? So Poppy saves me money on other apps. One of the things that's getting expensive are all these AI subscriptions. Right now I pay for Notion, pay for Milanote, pay for Miro, Letterly, ChatGPT, Spotter Studio, 1of10 Finder. You get the picture. Poppy really fixed this problem for me. Instead of using those free YouTube transcription services, you know, the ones with all the annoying ads, and copying and pasting into my Notion, I could just paste the link directly into Poppy and it would actually get a full transcription. Instead of putting all these PDFs in ChatGPT and not being able to unlink these things, I can actually visually connect and disconnect the files that I want to use within Poppy. In addition, there's a lot of cool things within Poppy. Being able to transcribe videos with Poppy without using credits, talking directly into a browser and having Poppy write down everything you say, being able to build mind maps to see your ideas and strategy. To be honest, I haven't used this one too much. Just by eliminating some of my apps, it helps me kind of recoup the costs. And I think it's even better if you have a lifetime plan too. Let's get into Next Pro. Poppy makes it easy to dump ideas and connect them on a page. But the problem with apps like Milanote and all that sort of stuff is that even though you could see it on a whiteboard, you couldn't interact with it or make any changes. And Poppy fixes that. It takes the best part of Google's Notebook LM, lays them out visually, and you can get insights with the AI. For things like YouTube, this is really helpful because the way my brain works for creative work is I'm always jumping around, and you can just brain dump everything on one page. So for example, this video, I was on Reddit, I was copying and pasting things, and I was ooh, there's something on YouTube. I was copying and pasting into my Poppy board. And it just makes everything easier knowing that everything is on one page. I can just dump it all here and then organize everything later. And I think as you are organizing, the cool part is that you can connect and disconnect multiple sources like PDFs, tweets, articles, video, and audio all in one place. This actually leads me to the Next Pro. You can control all the context that you give Poppy. The chat always forgetting what you told it or not understanding where the context data is coming from is pretty frustrating. One thing that I really loved about Google Notebook LM was that you could upload big documents, and it was a really good way at getting answers based on all those documents at once. But with Poppy, you can actually see what information the AI can use because you can disconnect and connect the files visually. So when I do product review videos like this one, I can put 5 competitor videos, my brand guidelines, my best practices for what I like, and my research notes. And then the AI uses everything to create the content that references all those sources. By the way, Future Kevin here. I just thought about this just now as I was just reviewing this video for an edit. But if you like things like Notebook LM and adding the different context documents or videos and things like that, but don't love Gemini, maybe you prefer Claude, that could be a really cool use case, being able to link things using a different model other than something like Gemini. Back to the video. And if you're wondering, well, how much data can I give Poppy? The context window is pretty decent. When I had my onboarding call with the Poppy team, the person told me it can take up to 3 Harry Potter books worth of data, which is quite extensive since it took me a few years to get through the first 3 books. And the cool thing is, if you do have too much data, Poppy will warn you. So I found that reminder quite helpful. The next pro that I kind of realized is that you can start creating templates for your work. I want to build something where my team can actually use it too. I think ideally I would want them to chat with my ideal audience or my ideal avatar who is based off a real person and just make better thumbnails and titles based on what that person prefers. For my video editor, I want them to use my board and get specific suggestions on reordering or cutting out the boringest parts of my videos. And so I built out a beta version of this. And so what used to take me a week now only took me 3 to 5 hours to do, which is pretty crazy. I don't think AI is that great at generating new formats, new ideas at this moment in time, but it works really well if you have a specific output that you're looking for or a specific content format you're looking for as well. And the exciting part for me is that this isn't just for content. I'm actually planning to do this for my high ticket sales clients and even mastermind clients too for my other offers. And so there's another pro. You can make money by selling your systems as services. Keep in mind, I'm still testing this right now. If you have a power user plan, you get access to API settings, which lets you connect your Zapier or Make to the whole ecosystem. That means you can sell your workflows to your clients as a service with a membership of services like School or Circle. You can build out your own custom knowledge base for your team or build your own AI agent, aka Robo Helper. Hopefully one that doesn't kill you in the future. The best part about this is that you can even white label your intellectual property to your clients with the APIs. And even though this isn't available with the basic plan right now, I think this is important to know just in case you're thinking about ways to use it in the future when you're at that stage. Like I said, I'm planning to do a separate review for the power user plan. The possibilities are endless and it's pretty exciting. Let's get into Last Pro. Their team actually cares about helping its users. One thing I really like about the Poppy experience or the onboarding experience is that they give you an onboarding call to help you walk you through and just get started. He gave me extra insights and shared some templates that helped me, and he gave me actually really cool tips, saving credits with the 5-minute window. So apparently when you submit things to AI, the first question costs you the most amount of credits. But if you keep on asking questions within a 5-minute context window, it's roughly that. It uses way fewer credits. That means you can save more money by asking a lot of things quickly back to back. The second thing he told me was using different chats based on the output that you want. So instead of mixing all the chats into one, it's better to have one chat for one task or one workflow. My onboarding specialist was telling me that way the AI doesn't get confused about linking and unlinking data, and it can do its job a lot better. And then the third thing he told me was to keep my best prompts in text blocks. So instead of copy and pasting or rewriting, you can actually store your best prompts inside a text block within Poppy and connect it to a chat. And you can reuse it as instructions whenever you want because Poppy can see anything that is connected. And for me, this actually is really great because every single time I duplicate a template, this speeds up the repeated tasks so I don't have to keep on doing it over and over again. I think one cool thing is that the team actually listens to the feedback and requests really well. For me, I'm always constantly breaking things and sending it to the support team. I couldn't copy items from one board to another, but literally a week later, they had that feature. It's kind of cool because everyone on the team, everyone that I've interacted with is super passionate about Poppy. The whole API feature that I was telling you about happened because a user asked for it. I also found out that even if you go over your credits during your first month or whatever, just message them and they'll give you bonus credits if you attend that first onboarding call too. Now that we kind of know the pros or the good stuff, what are some of the not so great things about Poppy? Let's talk about the cons of Poppy. One, it's expensive as And as I was posting on my IG stories about this new app I found, even one of my friends who writes scripts for a big YouTuber told me that he was spending a few $100s on credits alone each month. Right now, their basic plan is $400 per year. They will probably change it in the future. Right now, they have a lifetime deal for about $1,300, maybe a little less. And in my opinion, I think that's a steal if you're planning to use Poppy for a long time, but that is kind of a huge risk if you don't even know you'll like the app in the first place. Keep in mind, they don't offer monthly plans, which kind of sucks, but it roughly breaks down to $33 per month, which is more than ChatGPT and cloud subscriptions as well. The other thing I saw too was that they have potential upsells. For example, they have a power user plan, which is a little less than $5,000 per year. What I'm seeing is that they're creating a creator plan, which is about $2,300 per year, but this is still being tested. But from my experience with Poppy, just the basic plan, it just saved me a lot of time. I think earlier I told you it cut down a whole week's of work into 3 to 5 hours, but that was still when I was just learning how to use Poppy. And so even though Poppy kind of costs quite a bit, I think about the value you get from it. I still think it's cheaper than hiring a full-time scriptwriter. I'm not saying this is right, by the way, but I know that they're testing a lot of things out, like new plans and pricing and all that. So if you see different pricing all over the internet, that's probably why. Let's get into the next con. The credit system is confusing and can also be expensive. Results I got weren't super different than if I dropped 3 PDFs in ChatGPT and asked questions. So credits are only used every single time you chat with AI. So if you upload a transcript or upload anything, it doesn't count toward your credits. The more files that you connect to your chat, like videos, voice notes, documents, or websites, the more credits you use when you talk to your chat. There's certain AI models that cost more than others. That's pretty obvious. If you're using an older model, that's going to be way cheaper. If you have the basic plan, you get 2,000 credits per month or 3,000 credits per month for 5 to 6 months if you go to the onboarding call. And once you run out of credits, you have to wait until the next month or upgrade to a power user plan to get more credits and features and all that. An important thing to also know is that any unused credits don't roll over to the next month. But even though we know how the credits work, it doesn't explain two things. One, how many credits will I actually use in a month? And two, how many credits will I use making something like a YouTube video? So I tested it out. So I made a script for a product review video for this app called Score App. And here was the stuff I connected to it: my brand guidelines, my previous reviews, videos, articles, and emails that I created in the past, Reddit comments and what others people were saying about Score App on YouTube, my random thoughts, aka my yapping, and I actually used the Claude Sonnet model, which is probably one of the most expensive ones. My initial rough draft costed me about 100 credits, and that was about 1,300 words. But then by the time I was finished, I was going back and forth and I used about 500 credits, which is like 25% of my 2,000. One of my friends actually asked me like, hey, what is 100 credits in dollar value? I did the math and it's about $1.66 for 100 credits. If I'm using credits, it means that I'm actually getting value out of Poppy. But here are some things I use to make my credits more efficient. One, you can change AI models to reduce the cost. I never do this. Two, you can keep on using the chat within the 5-minute window, like how it uses fewer credits. The third thing is I actually use Poppy to augment my current AI tools. Like my ChatGPT has my memories, it understands how I talk, my brand voice. I'm usually going back and forth between Poppy and my ChatGPT to get my own version. And I think worst case scenario, if you're playing with it, you can always ask for more credits if you mess up. Team is pretty open about this and pretty generous about this too.
If you're new and you hit your limit, just tell us. We'll help you with it, okay? We've helped a lot of people with it.
I also think too, as time goes on, I think credit costs will probably go down over time as different AI models get cheaper and cheaper over time. In my first month of Poppy, and I'm not even done yet, 2,547 credits this month, and I'll probably use up all my credits this month. Keep in mind, I had to test out a lot of new things for this video, had to build new templates for YouTube and my high ticket sales stuff. That all plays into a factor. And I also asked during my onboarding call, I talked to the team and they told me about 90% of people don't even hit the 2,000 credit limit. So your experience may be different. Okay, let's get into the next con. It's actually hard for Poppy to learn how you write. My experience with Poppy is that it doesn't have memories of how I write. So every single time I work with it, it feels like a brand new ChatGPT, and which in my opinion is kind of low-key frustrating. When I asked the Poppy team what's an easy way to fix this, they told me I can yap to Poppy and give it feedback, or I can have ChatGPT summarize my brand guidelines. But there's something that still feels off. I feel like learning how you write is a lot deeper than asking ChatGPT 3 to 5 words and saying like, write like this. When I talked to one of the team founders, he explained why they didn't do things like memories, because there's a higher risk of the AI making stuff up.
It's a two-way street. It's like it has its pros and cons. If we share like whatever you chat across conversation, then it tends to hallucinate more, right? Because it has like way too much stuff like it knows. Like it might hallucinate thinking that you're Alex Hormozi because you have like an Alex Hormozi video connected.
So until my friend Dave Katage gives me the secret sauce, I'm just going to be going back and forth with my current ChatGPT subscription and Poppy. I'll pretty much do a first draft through Poppy, then run a second draft through ChatGPT to get my writing style and my voice, and then run it back through Poppy again. It's not perfect, so if anyone has any tips, let me know in the comments. But yeah, the next con is that you can't invite your team to Poppy if they don't have an account, at least right now. Currently, one of the downsides of Poppy is that every team member needs their own plan in order to access Poppy, at least with the basic plan. And if you're a new startup, this can be actually expensive as and I think when I compare to other apps like Creator Hook Pro or Spotter Studio, the best part is that I can give access to my team through permissions. Oftentimes I want to have my virtual assistant go in. I want to give my board access to my team without leaking my credentials either. I mean, real talk, password 123 is what I use for everything, duh. But this team access is really important. That way my team can improve on the systems, improve on the board on their end, without waiting for me to make all these changes to board myself. The only other thing I can think of is upgrading to a power user plan and creating a chatbot for my whole entire team, but that seems a bit excessive. The next con is that Poppy is still a brand new app with growing pains. When you compare Poppy to traditional whiteboard apps like Miro and Whimsical, they just feel more natural, smoother, and better. You can just tell that there's a lot of small things like flat icons, free drawings, and GIFs that like companies like Miro have added over through the years. A lot of them will have different visual templates that I love, where years of design and customer feedback have just made it feel so seamless. And simply put, other apps compared to Poppy have just had way more feedback loops compared to Poppy itself. Now back to Poppy, there's always new things changing. Even as I was like writing this video, the UX design changed quite a bit to look more like Miro. But with Poppy, there's like certain small bugs or missing nice to have features. In my opinion, this is totally normal. So one of the things when you copy and paste your website in, it's not real time updating. It'll like kind of capture that moment in time. And I kind of wish that they had a toggle where, it would update in real time. There's also no mobile app for Poppy as well, which is kind of inconvenient if I'm on the go. By the way, I'm not saying Poppy can't get there. They absolutely can, because their team just listens to feedback really well and new features. Like the whole mind mapping feature was actually a feature that one of the founding team people wanted to have, and they built that out. And so the team moves really quick on fixes. I think the thing is, if you're expecting this to be a perfect app, I think you'll be disappointed. Also, the thing to think about when you try out a new app is, will they go out of business? There's nothing more frustrating than building all these systems, all these templates in one place, and then just have it go under and lose all that work. The thing about Poppy is that it's bootstrapped, and they decided not to take investor money or VC money, which I think is good because they're incentivized to do what's best for us, the users, not the investors. And when I checked with the founding team, they make decent profit and have pretty healthy monthly revenue, recurring revenue. So I don't think they'll go out of business anytime soon. And so for me, I feel confident enough building my stuff on Poppy without worrying it's going to disappear tomorrow. There are other competitors on the market that I've been looking at who I might review for this channel, but their revenue models aren't very clear or their pricing is hidden. And it makes me a little worried to spend time with these apps. As much as people like myself want freemium models or trial models, AI isn't free and it costs quite a bit of money. That's something a bootstrap company can't risk like a VC-backed company. It sucks, but at least they offer some sort of money-back guarantee. So there's that. So let's kind of do the math that no one else is really doing for the basic plan of Poppy. Obviously, your numbers might be different. And keep in mind, at the time of the shooting, they're trying to figure out the other tiers like creator and power user plans, but we'll cover those in depth in a separate review once those become more official. Okay, right now Poppy doesn't have a monthly plan, but their basic plan is $400 per year, which breaks down into like $33 per month. The bottom line is, if your channel earns $8 to $12 RPM, which is typical for a business YouTube channel, you need to make about 3,000 to 4,000 views per month to break even on a $33 per month expense. So the real question is, can Poppy help me create new content that will help me get at least 3,000 to 4,000 views per month? For most people, I think this is pretty doable, but let's actually talk about who should buy Poppy and who should absolutely avoid it. Let's talk about who Poppy is an absolute no-brainer for. One, you're an agency owner, freelancer, or service-based business owner with a team. And something I think about is how to speed up not only my workflow, but my team productivity as well. So for example, I can take my high-ticket sales scripts, my templates, my email automations, plug it in with a conversation with my client or the founder, plug in their sales pages, their current offers, their current emails, and then output something that combines my methodology with the client brand voice. Like I said earlier, I think you can easily bake the cost of Poppy into your services. And since they do charge per credits, I hope one day that they'll give team permission access to basic plan, because that would make it pretty game-changing for my team. You're a marketer, researcher, or content creator, especially short form creators. So what's the one thing that marketers, researchers, and content creators have in common? You need a place that you can hold all your research in one place. So Poppy is perfect if you combine multiple sources regularly and you want those sources analyzed, kind of like Google Notebook LM. Especially with content creators, we're always trying to figure out different inspirations, what's working in the current social media world. The unique thing about Poppy is that I can attach an AI chat to it and just have it analyze for patterns. I can give context to Poppy about who I am, the content I've already created, and ask for unique angles if I were to do similar content, then analyze how my audience would react to see if it would be super valuable to them. And I find that if you have a specific content format that you love creating, it makes it easier too, because it has an idea of what you're trying to create. Also with short form creators, Poppy can see the visual data for short form. So that way you can analyze not only other people's content, but your own content as well to see how your ideal audience is reacting to it. Another no-brainer is you want to copy your workflows. As a YouTuber, I'm always thinking about how do I make it easier to create a video. One of the cool things about Poppy is that you can set up a template that has an entire project from A to Z, kind of like an old school assembly line back in the day. So everything from my research, my title design, my writing style, my ideal audience, to script writing is all in one place. So for these review videos like this one, I can plug in my research and out comes a rough draft for a video in fewer steps. If I want to outsource, I would love to give this template to someone so that they can do a lot of the heavy lifting so I can just like show up. This is way quicker than having to start from scratch every single time. You're already paying for multiple AI subscriptions. When I look at my credit card statement, I'm already paying for a bunch of software and services. And so some of the ones that Poppy kind of replaces are the transcription services, subscriptions that let you use multiple AI models, kind of like Poe or Merlin, voice transcription services like Letterly or VoicePen, and of course, traditional whiteboard apps like Miro and Whimsical. Currently, there's no easy way to transfer that data over. So if that data really means a lot to you, there's no really easy way. But going forward, I actually find myself not needing these apps or very rarely using these apps to begin with anymore. The other person that this is a no-brainer with, essentially you have a creator business. If you have one of these, then you already have a huge chance of not only making your money back, but really profiting from your content. We already kind of broke down the math for the YouTube Partner Program where you need about 3,000 to 4,000 views per month to break even. But if you're using YouTube or social media to get leads for your backend offers or brand deals, this is a no-brainer. If Poppy can help you make more videos in a short amount of time, it means more leads for your offers and more capacity for your future brand deals, which makes you more money in the long term. And plus, you can not only use this for your organic content, you can also use this for paid ads too, if that's your thing. The last one is if you're a productivity junkie who's obsessed with learning. Okay, I'm going to go on a limb out here, but chances are if you watch someone like Ali Abdaal, you're probably into Poppy. Yes, there's the business and productivity side that you can use with Poppy, but the possibilities aren't just limited to that. I haven't tried this yet because I ran out of credits this month, but with Jiu-Jitsu, I was actually thinking about connecting all the tutorials I bought from Firas Zahabi to assess my game using the short form visual analysis to turn me into the AI Gordon Ryan Killbot. And so you can take the everyday tasks or everyday skills that you're trying to learn and speed that up. Who knows? I might be doing some future videos on this, so let me know what kind of bots you want to see from me. Maybe you'll see an ABG Rizbot one day. With that being said, who should completely skip Poppy in the first place? The first person that comes into mind is you're already happy with your current AI tools and setup. The truth is, if you're happy with your current setup, then don't change it. Personally, for me, I feel like the visual aspect and just having everything in one place is really worth it, but I realize not everybody thinks like me. Another person that should probably skip Poppy is that you're on a tight budget with no consistent revenue. So if you're thinking like $400 per year is a stretch, or whatever the pricing is when you're watching this, don't do it. It's not because I don't think you'll get your value out of it, but I feel like learning these tools takes time. Plus, since they're bootstrapped with no VC backing, they're not in a place to give like student rates like some other software programs. If you're a new content creator and you're just starting, you're better off finding your content format first and creating a bit before you actually invest into software like this. There's tons of great AI apps like obviously ChatGPT and NotebookLM, but at the end of the day, it is an investment. The only exception I would make is if you don't really care about the money and you just want to make great content faster. I would look at it as an investment then. The other person I think this wouldn't be good for is if you don't have a current AI subscription with ChatGPT or Claude or some other LLM. One of the issues I mentioned with Poppy was that it's really hard to get your writing style with it. And so the workaround that I've been using is going back and forth between ChatGPT or the AI LLM of your choice because it actually knows my writing styles because of the memories. I then take the output and then post it into Poppy where it further improves my writing. But the problem is if you don't have an AI subscription, it's hard to get the maximum benefit of this. And like I mentioned earlier, if you don't have a current subscription that knows your branding, it feels like you're starting with a new ChatGPT every single time. The other person that wouldn't be good for this is if you don't have the time to learn Poppy, go to onboarding call or get someone to figure it out for you. So as I was looking at the Reddit forums, a lot of people are disappointed because in order to get the money back guarantee, you have to show up to onboarding call. I asked the founders why they did this and they realized that they were getting a lot of people who are refunding and stuff without the onboarding call. And so it kind of makes sense. If you're truly serious about this, then you'll probably want to go on an onboarding call. But if you don't have the time to do an onboarding call, then you won't qualify for the guarantee. And I think more importantly, with any software, you just need a bit of time to play with it to get your value out of it. Luckily, Poppy was really easy for me to understand and really didn't take that much time to learn. I basically had my onboarding call, which was about an hour, played around with it for another hour to get the hang of it. I do find that the tool is relatively intuitive. You don't need like a long tutorial or anything like that. And you can actually use a lot of templates that they give you. If you don't have the time to use Poppy, then you need to find someone who can, like a virtual assistant, to build the things that you want. I think that's a viable option too. Future Kevin here. Again, if you're also really busy or maybe you're not super techie like with the whole AI thing and just want to use the tool, again, their viral content plan or whatever they call it, they'll actually make DIY boards for you. To be honest, it is kind of expensive, but if you're at this level, your probably hourly rate is like way higher than what it would cost for you to do it. So yeah, something worth considering. Okay, with that being said, is Poppy actually worth it? The bottom line is, if you're making money from content, just try it. If you're just starting out with AI or you're a casual, just stick with your ChatGPT, Claude, or Notebook LM. It's probably not worth it in that case. But with that being said, don't take my opinion, try it yourself. Show up to an onboarding call, take advantage of that 30-day money back guarantee, show up to an onboarding call with all your concerns, and if it sucks, just refund it. That said, if you want to support me and my channel so I can move out of my mom's basement, please use my affiliate link below. Or if you want to support my work and decide not to use it, you can donate directly to the channel. Please check the description and pin comment for the special bonuses I'm working on. And what software do you want me to cover next? I'll see you in the next video, Mudda people. Bye.